We have now officially surpassed the one-year anniversary, marking the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. And while mental health may have not been the first thing on everyone's radar this time last year, it's certainly on their radar now. I'm joined by author Peggy McColl to learn a little bit more. Good morning, Peggy.
Good morning, Alex.
So the effects of this pandemic on our collective mental health has been incredibly detrimental this past year. Can you comment on some of these shocking statistics we've been seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in our country, in Canada alone, the suicide rate is 4 times what it was before. And there are plenty more people that are thinking about it, but haven't actually acted. And there are people that have acted, but haven't followed through. And you think about those statistics, and that's staggering. And I really believe it's something we should pay attention to and get involved in finding a solution.
Are we seeing differences when it comes to grown adults versus young adults versus teenagers? What are we seeing?
You know, I really believe it's all encompassing. Mm-hmm. It's affecting everyone at every age, and it doesn't matter what you're going through, whether you're elderly and you're living alone, or whether you're just feeling like, what's the point? You know, what's this all about? Or even teenagers and what they're dealing with. You know, suicide rate has been higher with the teenagers, you know, in the past, and I believe it's affecting them as well. But it's not stopping there. It's pretty much affecting everyone everywhere.
We're hearing across the board that people are feeling isolated. They're feeling, they're really starting to feel that social and physical distancing and making those connections. Why is it so important now more than ever to stay as connected as we can, of course, safely during this time?
Right, exactly. I mean, people are missing hugs. They're missing the human connection. They're missing seeing their friends or traveling or being with other people. And thankfully, we have the internet. Thankfully, we can connect this way. And I think it's important that we do connect this way and find ways to connect with other people, or get outside, go for a walk, talk to your neighbors, just see people outside as well. The warmer weather is coming, so it gives us an opportunity to get out and still safely connect with other people.
Definitely. What are some of the red flags or the signs that we should be watching for if we think someone we know may be in a dark place, may be suicidal? What can we do?
You know, some signs that aren't as obvious are things like they just become quiet. You don't hear from them, wonder where they are. They're not responding to texts or phone calls. And then there are others where they're more vocal. Like I got a text the other day from a friend, and she said she's broken, and she's been going through a lot of challenges with her family and with her health. And, when things like that happen, I got in my car, I drove to the nearest florist, I bought a huge bouquet of flowers, and I took it off and I put it at her door just to let her know I'm thinking about her. So you got to watch for the signs. And also sometimes they're obvious, where people will say, what's the point in living anymore? And I know another person that was similar thing. You got to reach out and you got to look for those signs. You got to help people. If you hear it, or even if you just feel a little inkling that something may be wrong there, offer some help, give a suggestion, help them look at things a little bit differently, find the good, because there's good in everything.
Peggy, what's your personal connection with when it comes to mental health? Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, sure. When I was 17, I wanted to kill myself. I actually went to a park bench in the little town that I was living in, and I went there to do it. I was planning on ending my life. My mother attempted to end her life as well. When I was 14, she put a garden hose in the pipe of the car, the exhaust pipe, and one in the window, closed the garage door, and my father found her, thankfully. So I personally had that experience and had that in-depth feeling. But thankfully, I got out. Thankfully, I met a man who really changed my life. And my most recent book, Savvy Wisdom, is based on that. It's a parable. It's a fiction book, but it is truly based on my life and how I turned my life around.
Peggy, if there's anyone watching this morning who is in a similar situation to maybe one that you experienced, what do you have to say to them?
I would say, find the blessings. I have goosebumps as you ask that question. There's always something good, even if it's just a little light. One of the things that I turn to anytime I'm feeling off is I turn to my gratitude journal and I just start to write down, what am I grateful for in my life? There's always something, there's always something. The sun's shining, spring's in a couple of days, whatever it is, there's always something to be grateful for. Find the things that you're grateful for right now and connect with them.
And we do want to say that if you or someone you know is suicidal, help is available. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline can be reached 24/7 at 800-273-8255. Thank you so much for your time this morning and for continuing this important discussion.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you inviting me to be here.